Vitality may be looking for another fast play into the A bomb site, perhaps. Shox has a HE grenade, 3 MAC-10s and 2 pistols. They've got the round to keep doing this. But where is the HE? There we go. Squeak door blown off. ZywOo through the flames, trying to charge through. A ding-dong from ZywOo. Alex falls to the flames. ZywOo still alive, now looking for a second again, but he'll be denied by Frozen. Up in the heaven position. He's going to get blown up by RPK, though. Trying to go for a fast plant. Repositioning. ChrisJ stuck in the vent. Not a good position for him. Robs has a flashbang from his teammate. Swings out. Takes out the bomb planter. RPK. No bomb planter just yet. Now it's Apex alone and not for long. It is an expensive round for Vitality. It keeps their economy honest, but they've got around 6K on a bunch of players, and they're 6 rounds behind now.
Yeah, it's like such a bold call. I really like it to just go for that fast upper play again, because you can really catch the other team off guard. And Mousesports' economy was so kind of low. It's just one of those situations where you could just win the match off of it very quickly. But instead now this is the first time, round 23, or well, I mean, it's the second half, so not quite as many rounds as that, but first time in the second half we'll see a 4-buy from Mousesports with an AWP on Woxic. Let's see if this changes things for Mousesports' fate, or if Vitality, or if it doesn't matter to Vitality. They are going to respect the round a bit more and play a little bit slower, Vitality.
That may slow things down yet more. Their positions were a little sinister. Looks like they may have had intent. We got one player on the roof to perhaps throw some grenades into A. But maybe a plan B has been called. Woxic moving into an aggressive position on the ramp. We'll see if Rob stays in situ or if he rotates. There's a first target, spots another one jumping on the cross as well. Flashbang, but can mostly see. Has Rob's for support, rifle support always important. And now he's back to plan C for Vitality. Karrakin dropping off, makes it look easy for 2-man spray down. 5 versus 2 now, but Apex is on the A bomb site, trying to do what he can. He will be denied, leaving Alex alone. Taking out Karrakin by Squeaky. Has he seen Rops? He does, and now he's made it 1 versus 2. Oh, Woxic, he's missed it. You do wonder if they start to get nervous here. Even if Alex loses the round, he's doing so much damage, which could pay off in the rounds to come. ChrisJ will spot him and pop him. Mousesports almost at double figures, but that might make their buy weaker. That said, ChrisJ's got 7,500 in the bank.
Man, it's so tense. Just as you said, like I was looking at 1v2 and I'm like, oh god. After that whiff on Squeaky, I felt like Alex was going to make some plays, but it looks like Vitality's money's finally starting to run out. They're going to be on a half buy here, I think. That said, Apex could drop an AWP, and they could buy around it. There is a world where they do that. Apex has bought an AK in Kevlar, though. Not quite the AWP. Is it the hero? Yes. It's a
His money's still together with the team.
Yeah, he's got $2K still, so
they can afford to take this risk. And again, just try to maim Mousesports' economy yet more. But it has to be noted, Mousesports keep winning rounds. It's looking so bleak for them. But they're getting there. 1 round at a time. Don't focus on the overall score. Just focus on the round ahead of you. A HE for RPK. Smoke for Shox has just been deployed, and it looks like it might be a surge into the A bomb site once again. They're sure it's going to work eventually. Frozen from the right to the left. He's ready, as he showed on Mirage. He's got help from the high ground as well. He can focus on the left-hand side, but Apex got a lovely peek. He will get traded, though. 3 versus 2. It gets expensive again for Mousesports, and Alex might have more to do here. Oh my god, that is brutal. This is a giant problem for Mousesports.
it really is. The high ground is such a strong position to be in. The bomb, of course, has to be planted, and Shox will have the coverage from Alex. Mousesports have a lot of work on their hands. Alex is in an extremely strong position. Woxic with it all to do. Repositioning from Alex. Nice pick off from Woxic. He's going to have to push the issue. He can't make it happen, though. Alex will take him down. Woxic is dead, and Alex has pushed Vitality to match point here. Championship points.
From out of nowhere, a surge into A. Not like this, surely not. Look what it's done to Mousesports. Frozen's got a Mag 7. ChrisJ with a Scout. Robs with a Deagle, which he's done a lot with in this series so far, but Vitality have everything.
Oh. Well, can't scoff at the scout. Chris J gets a connect. One or two more of those connections makes a huge difference. Those pistols start to become quite deadly. And oh, look at this huge risk he's taking, trying to jump up into the container. It was a really bold play, and risks have to be taken, but it's not going to pay off this time. Carrigan will just about escape to the headshot angle in time. And he does so in a perfect timing. They won't see that he's there, and he gets a free one. ZywOo, though, is able to outmaneuver him and cut him off in the decontamination room. And now it's up to that Deagle of Robs, and it's not looking good, James.
Fire on the left and the right. Frozen. Oh, God, this is just so brutal. Woxic and Robs with the range. The sound cues are here for Vitality. They've got so many flashbangs. They've got a man advantage. The bomb's planted. Only Woxic has a defuse kit. There's just no way. Surely there's no way. Just down to Woxic now. He's the only man standing. Vitality have done it. They've broken the streak, and they've taken Moscow and the EPICENTER Championship 2019.
Incredible performance from them. It was just so remarkable. The level of resilience that we saw from Vitality from start to finish in this series, and also credit to Mousesports as well. Although it is somewhat sad for them that their finals run has come to an end, they can be extremely proud and happy for the fact that they have done an incredible amount of damage and taken so many titles in an incredibly packed schedule. They're exhausted, but they still put up a championship level performance, and they can surely be nothing but proud after that.
You got to say, ZywOo really deserves this one. Multiple 30-plus fragging games. Didn't quite get there, but didn't need to on Nuke. A great team effort. Vitality have taken it. They've gone all the way. Don Stepan on the stage to do the introduction before the trophy lift. Alex with an amazing run as well. Vitality, your 2019 EPICENTER champions.
Okay, so here we have them. The champions are Vitality. They do prevail. Started out pretty brutally. Looks like they were going to run away with this thing, but Mousesports gave us a show towards the end.
Yeah, Carrigan made the best adjustment possible. He knew the one strat that was working for his team was that upper A exec. He called it again. It kept Vitality honest for that rest of that half, and he was able to string 4 rounds in a row to end that T side for them. But it just wasn't enough, and Vitality was able to come away with it at the end.
And bearing in mind, like, ZywOo does end the tournament with some of the most unbelievable stats you'll ever see. We're talking prime, simple numbers. He's clearly the MVP. I think probably a big deal for the team, though, that they win a map without him needing to go off.
Absolutely, and we talked about win conditions going into the map as well, in terms of Alex, RPK being 2 of the players that needed to step up on a map like Nuke in order for them to actually have a...
Keep talking, man. Just keep talking.
Yeah, in order to have a chance on Nuke as well. And I don't think there's any doubt that RPK and Alex themselves actually stepped up beyond what you could expect. RPK,
absolutely, yes.
Absolutely fantastic throughout that CT side. Him and Alex more or less started and gave them that entire advantage that they managed to hold on to into the second half. So it's a team effort in the end. As amazing as ZywOo has been all tournament, it's the team that gets them across the line to lift the trophy, and that's fantastic in itself.
And I would hope, even if someone's a Mousesports fan, listen, you got a little bit of a shine towards the end there, but how could you hate on CT play like that? That was fantastic stuff. On the T side, they looked like they'd stalled out, but then eventually they found the right hits. This time they swapped it up to the lower site.
Yeah, no, Alex did a great job. I mean, he conditioned Mouse. It looked kind of ridiculous the way he was simply just calling the same A exec over and over and over again, but he actually threw one wrench into the plan of Mouse's defense there, is that he solo flanked outside, was able to get into heaven, flank the A players from that position, and then he closed it out, killing Woxic in the 1v2 to end things. And that was just such a great little adjustment. It's not as grand as some of the ways Carrigan likes to throw wrenches into the plans of attacking opponents, but it was just the change they needed to open things up, and it seemed insane, but he pulled it off.
And this is a big deal, you have to realize, for ZywOo. A lot of people might not know this. Everyone's hailing him #1 player 2019. He's only won 1 tournament. He's only won CS Summit, which is not considered a big tier 1 tournament, despite the fact that actually had some very good teams in it. So his big problem was he came along right smack bang in the middle of the Team Liquid, attempted an era. Then after that, all these teams made the roster moves, including his own. They dropped off. They weren't in finals anymore. Now he's having to face a Mousesports that they think it's their destiny to go and win 4 tournaments, end the year, number 2, number 3. So it's always cool when someone who seems like they're stuck in that prison where they're so much better than their teammates. You heard the casters say it so many times in the cast. How is he better than everyone in the server? And yet he's always losing. He's always on the losing end of it. So a big, big statement, I think, for a young man who obviously is a fantastic player.
Yeah, and a great statement for Vitality as well. The fact that they were finally able to incorporate their other players, that RPK got unlocked. That Alex had a great series as well. I mean, that just bodes well for where this team is headed in the future, because if they can start firing on more cylinders than just ZywOo, because he was their only win condition all year, it felt like. But finally, Alex now, he's playing so well. RPK, he's actually looking like the tank that we love and know, and it's so exciting to see where this Vitality can take themselves going forward.
I think this, in many ways, is the perfect way to end 2019. I mean, looking at the teams and what kind of form they're going or ending the year with, and how many actually contenders we've had throughout the entire circuit,
sure, yeah.
It just leaves us in for an absolute treat of a following year. Like 2020 is bound to be absolutely amazing if these teams can continue on this kind of path that we've seen. The fact that we have Vitality throwing themselves into the ring at the very end of the year, I'm just so excited to get started already, really.
And as Maui State pointed out, especially with Alex and then RPK's big performance here, obviously so many step-up performances instead of just the ZywOo show. But one thing that Vitality, if they want to become champions again, probably expand the map pool.
Yeah, right now it's a puddle. It's just not enough. There's not enough maps for them. And even though they lost their pick on Inferno, they still look solid on Mirage, which I think may have even surprised themselves a little bit there. But a lot of that was based off of ZywOo. They need to have more contingency plans other than him just going completely off and going completely insane on the server.
Yeah. And how about on the Mousesports side of things? I mean, a bitter end, obviously. You thought maybe you could win it even in 2, but still a fantastic year.
Oh, absolutely. And again, if you're Mousesports, yes, this is going to sting for, I think, until about the end of the night. And then you're going to actually start to reflect on what kind of accomplishments you've managed to pull off throughout the year. And the way they ended, there's no doubt they end the year as the strongest team in 2019, which is a pretty incredible statement in itself. And then the fact that they do it on a pretty solid fundament as well. Like, it's not like this is a fluky thing that they've streaked together. It's not like they have really gimmicky plays that are getting them over the top. It's a solid system that they can work on going into 2020 as well. Unlike Vitality, Mousesports have a really, really solid map pool to play off of. They have so many strengths that they can go off of. We've talked about it time and time again. It's not necessarily only ROPS or only Frozen at times that are carrying them through. It's contributions from literally everyone across the board, and that's what you want starting an entirely new tournament year.
And to tie into what you said, everyone who was worried, it's going to be a second Astralis era, they're just going to win everything. If Team Liquid's the second best team, we know they can't beat Astralis. Everyone's got a counter right now. Mousesports have lost a couple to Vitality. Obviously, Team Liquid has their number. On the other hand, Mousesports has beaten Astralis. Evil Genius has beaten Astralis. Everyone has someone who can counter them if they get the right bracket draw.
Yeah, it's not a triangle anymore. It's kind of like a pentagon of like teams beating each other, and I think that's a fantastic way to have it. Just knowing that you can go into a tournament, sure, you can have your favorites, etc., but you can't exactly just leave it at the start of the tournament and be like, well, Astralis are going to win. That's not the case anymore. Teams are getting so well drilled and so well developed in terms of just taking down their toughest rivals and opponents that it's going to be an absolute battle each and every time these guys go to a tournament.
And by the way, we would obviously be remiss. He's the lone man out on this particular scoreboard for the last map. ROPS every single map of the final. If ZywOo didn't exist, he'd probably be winning MVP honors at this point.
Yeah, ROPS was just magical in some of those late round situations for Mousesports. ROPS just, every single time it seemed like a round was breaking down and things were just getting a little bit slower, ROPS, he would just find the right angle. He would catch the players off guard. When RPK and Alex were in a 2v3 situation, all ROPS did was just stay in squeaky door, and he caught RPK off. It seemed like every time it was coming down to the wire, ROPS was there. He was so clutch for that team, and it's just such a shame that he had to face up against ZywOo, because yeah, he'd probably be lifting that trophy and an MVP medal if it were the other way around.
And then another angle I think we have to bring up is obviously Vitality made the gamble, just like ENCE did. They made the move that they hoped would take them to the top, bring them the big trophy. A lot of people would have said it had failed even a month ago. I think they didn't really deliver upon it. They were supposed to win Malmo, remember. That was not supposed to be Fnatic's trophy in theory. So what do you think of the match you succeeded in getting the big trophy in the end?
I mean, obviously, it kind of solidifies their own belief that it was the right move. And while it may not have been Shocks that leads them to the promised land in terms of fragging and everything, the fact that the team as a whole actually works quite well, and the fact that it gives opportunity for maybe not the biggest stars of the team to actually shine on given moments and times of need as well, that gives you everything you need to know really about Vitality, and that gives you all the confidence that you need as a Vitality player yourself to feel really confident about what's to come in the future.
I think it goes without saying we're probably giving ZywOo the MVP, at least in terms of our vote.
Anything else would be a complete robbery.
Yeah, ZywOo for sure. I would want to just give a little bit of a shout out to Alex and how well he game planned with Vitality, because, man, he looked so dominant on Nuke, and even though he missed some of his shots on Inferno, you could tell the game plan going into all of these matchups was really solid, and it's a reason that I thought Vitality was just going to be such a strong team, because, I mean, they dismantled Na'Vi. I mean, the way they took down the teams they took down wasn't just kind of pure raw skill all the time. It wasn't just the ZywOo win condition, it was their game planning. But yeah, of course, ZywOo, definitely the MVP for this tournament. Magical performance.
I think that's enough from us.
Yeah.
It ended up being a brilliant final. The third map maybe wasn't as crazy as the first two, but how often can it be? In the end, we had an impressive winner. It wasn't actually the hard side of the bracket. It wasn't Mousesports. It wasn't Evil Geniuses. It wasn't Na'Vi. It was, in fact, the French of Vitality with new edition Shocks, but particularly the superlative ZywOo, MVP of the tournament, I think, in everyone's books. That's enough from us at EPICENTER 2019. Thanks to Mauisnik, thanks to Vendetta, thanks to Potter, thanks to James Bardolph and DDK and Hawker and Sadikist. Thanks to everyone. See you next year, maybe.